Well, look what we have here. These are pram bodies, stroller bodies. This is clearly a 55 Chev, and that is a little 32. Pretty cool. This one needs some work and modifications, and so does this one. We'll start with the 32. See right here? It's about as fat as my finger. And that one is thinner. So I'm going to fix that. This one has got some damage. It's got a crack here. It's got a hole over here. And I don't like how this windscreen's ended. So I want to add a lip around and then sort of continue it down there a little bit to make it a bit nicer. So you won't see as much as this raw glass. I was also thinking about extending this up. We'll see about that. I'm going to start on the 55 first, get all the bodywork done, and then start the moulding process. So after some sanding and filling, got this thing smoothed out enough where I can take a mould from it. And we're starting at the front. I'm going to build a wall along the front there. This has been hot glued to random bits of angle iron that have also been hot glued. That's going to be the foundation for my divider. I'm going to fill all the gaps with Play-Doh, put some cello tape around the joins. It should be good to go for wax, then gel coat. There's the flange walls done. Play-Doh'd in, sticky taped, added these bits, hot glue, and then a piece on the back, hot glued. And that's about as good as it's gonna get. I'm gonna wax this now. I'll give it a dust off with the air blower and wax it. There we have it. One layer of 225 drop strand mat. Now with this mold here, I have some issues with it. You can see right here, there's a big crack and they don't line up properly. That's because when I did this, I just did 6 layers straight up, one on top of the other. That made everything contract slightly, and that's why I've got the cracks here. You can follow it all the way down, and then these joints here, they're all split open. I've also got some damage down there which I'm not happy about. Same with up here. The joins on this mold have, it's all shrunk slightly and nothing lines up perfect anymore. So I've been told that if I do one layer, let it cure, do another layer, let it cure, do another layer, let it cure, it won't do that, hopefully. Also the same with this mold, it's ready to be laid up, it's got gel coat in there. I gotta put together the structure that goes in here. I make a steel frame that goes in here with locating pins, so it can be bolted to the body. But the joint in here, there is a slight gap where this joins to this. So again, I laid that up all in one hit. But with this one and all my future molds, I'll be doing this method, one layer at a time. And yes, I am using a broomstick to hold that up, because that's all I got. And there it is after several layers over 2 days. So put one layer down, let it cure for at least 4 hours. Another layer, another layer, another layer, another layer. All with curing between. I just realised I made a mistake. The gel coat I used was white. I was supposed to use grey. I'm supposed to tint it like this. Because all the bodies I'm going to be pulling out of here are white, and I put white gel coat over white gel coat. I won't be able to see if I've got full coverage. But that's my problem, not yours. So I'm going to remove the backing. The hot glue, I can use either acetone or alcohol. There's the back of the flange ball. Not too bad. Pretty happy with that. A lot of this will get trimmed off. I still want a decent sized flange, but a lot of that will be removed. It's decent thickness. I like to have thick flanges. Now I'm starting on the back. Got another piece of coil flute. That was the front bit. Cut around the bonnet and the headlights. I'm going to just cut a little bit out of that. Got the reused walls. Got my hot glue gun. Bits of angle. And more Play-Doh. Let's get into it. You don't want to tell me now. I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. And there it is, the Great Wall of 55. Now you might be wondering why I'm doing the front and the back first. Well, I'll show you. So I've got this nice flat wall here now, so I can run a wall along here. But if I was to do this first, I'd have to run the wall along here still, but then I'd have to run one down here. Right? And same on the other side. Or if I was to do the center first, I'd need a wall along here, along the center, along that side, and along there. So it makes more sense to do the front and the rear first, then just have one straight wall along there, and one straight wall along there. There's the back. You might be noticing this stuff. It doesn't matter. They'll sand off. I'll sand this smooth so I don't get splinters from it, because I got one under my nail there. So if you see that part at the front, how it sort of goes that way, that was a splinter that went under my nail. It really hurt. Now I'm going to move on to the side here. I'm going to build a wall from there all the way along to the front. Same deal, hot glue, bits of metal to the back, then put my core flute up. I had to get a bigger piece of core flute. It was like $11 for that big bit. Yeah, make a wall, seal it, wax it, mold it. Let's do it. 55 mold progress, or lack thereof. So as you can see here, I've got glass sort of wrapped around this edge. Alright. And the only way I could do that was with sticky tape, and this is the thin chop strand mat, the 225. I've gone and put a layer of 450 on, and I can't get it to fold around there. So I've let it cure like this, and I'm going to fill this gap all the way around with cotton flock or talc in resin. I'm going to very carefully fill that. Then I'll put a little slither of glass over that. When it comes to taking this particular part of the mold off, it's going to be really tricky because I've wrapped this around. That's the only way I could see to do it. I regret it, but that is what it is. So on this side, when I go to mold this side, I'm going to have a piece of coil flute going from here all the way along, and I'm going to fill it with Play-Doh, and then when I lay up the mold, I'll be able to just lay straight over it, and that'll be a flanged edge, which I can trim back later if I like, but that will give me what I want, which is this thick edge here. I'm going to mix up some of that stuff, smear it in here, put a layer of glass over the top to sort of bridge it to this, and then once that's cured, I'll be able to continue laying up the side of the mold, which is there. It's upside down. Alright, so what I've done is mix up some resin, catalyzed it, and this is the cotton block. I've showed it before. So to me it looks like ground up fiberglass. You can use talcum powder, which is fine. This is sort of, it is fine, but it's sort of clumpy, which I don't think talcum powder does. And it's fibrous, that's what makes me think it's ground up glass. You can see all the little fibers in it. So basically what you do is mix this in with your resin to a desired consistency. There's no formula. It's just, you know, do it till it looks about right. And you always want a little bit of extra resin left over in case you've put too much in here. So it's a bit thin. I want it to be quite thick and like gelatinous. So it'll stay where I put it rather than trying to run away. A little bit thicker than that. Still a bit too runny. And like I said, if you go too far, keep some resin aside to thin it back out again. It's getting there. Mix it a bit more. So it's quite thick now. So I'm gonna smear it in that gap as best I can. You should be able to see what I'm doing from there. I just want a little bit in that gap. I only want it to go where I want it to go. It doesn't need to be excessive at all. It just needs to be in there. First, I forgot a step, of course, because I'm an idiot. I'm going to pre-wet it with some resin. This will just help it get in there and stick real nice. Just do a nice fillet like that, and then I'm going to put a small amount of glass over the top of it. Now I've got two thin strips of the 225 chop strand mat. 225 is the weight in grams. I'm going to put that on there with some resin to add strength. let that cure, then I can continue on laying up the rest of the mould.